Hello YouTube, this is HShiftTac's son, and I'm doing a review between this Victorinox Super Tinker. Well, this is Mechanic and Super Tinker. And from a quick look at it, you might be like, what the heck is the difference? It looks exactly the same. Well, here's the difference. One, we got this symbol on our Mechanic, and the Mechanic is just by a hair. It's slightly thicker because it has a thicker tool in it. By a thicker tool, I mean we've got the beautiful Victorinox pliers, and here's what they look like right here. And they go up here, and there's an incredible back spring there. It's almost like a lock. Okay, see? There's that. And also you have a big flathead screwdriver. It's a bottle cap opener. And there's something right here. It might be a wire cutter or something. I actually don't know what that little divot's supposed to be. It's kind of weird. And here's another flathead screwdriver, but it's really small compared to the other one. It's a can opener. And yeah, that's that. Now if you look, this actually looks bent, but it's supposed to look that way, I think, so it can fit in better. I don't know if you can see that, but this is slightly bent. I don't know if the camera can see that or not. Then you have your toothpick and tweezer, if I didn't mention that, right here. This is your toothpick, and the other one you can probably guess is your tweezers. And those just fit into the handle, see? Tweezers, ching chomp, tweezers, normal Victorinox tweezers you've seen on so many other knives. And your little blade, you can see it's got like a little nick for your fingernail to go in or whatever. And over here, hold on. Over here is the exact same blade, but it's way bigger. And you can see this is official Swiss right here. Over here it says Victorinox and all that. Right there, I don't know if the camera can perfectly see that. But there's like little writing down the bottoms of the blades. And then over here, if you turn it onto its bottom, you've got your Phillips head screwdriver, which pops out like that. And you see, I imagine that you put two fingers here, and you can unscrew some things, or just like this, however you prefer it. And it stays up pretty well. Back spring, you can push on it pretty tight. None of these tools lock, of course, because it's all slip joint, and no tool in the middle here. It's just a bar of metal, and it kind of makes it heavier. And over here, if I can even get this out, there's like a little needle, like a little sewing needle, I think. See, yeah, see right here. There's like a little needle with a hole, really pointy as a knife blade, so be careful. So that's basically that, and it has pliers. Remember, Mechanic has pliers. Now the Super Swiss, you got your big blade, your small blade, the writing on the bottom of the blade, same stuff you had on the Mechanic. And also, you have your, these screwdrivers. If I can even get this one out, it's pretty tight. I can't even get that one out, it's so tight.
Close your can opener.
But it's,
before you open up the other.
well, yeah.
It helps.
Yeah, it does make it looser. They have a half stop on them. The really fat screwdriver has a half stop. It's basically completely identical Now, I don't see any pliers here. Pliers? No pliers. What we have instead is scissors. Right here. So the Super Tinker has scissors, and I think that the Tinker doesn't have scissors. It's everything on here but the scissors. So if you are getting a Tinker, probably a Super Tinker, and I'll explain some things later. So you got your nice chompy scissors, same spring mechanism you'd had in the pair of pliers. See that spring? See the springs, basically the same. I think this might be used as a wire cutter right here. Very sharp scissors. They do look kind of small, but in real size, it actually is actually pretty. It works. It's just the size that it works. So that's basically the difference between them. But there's another difference. And do you remember this big, heavy metal bar with no tool? Well, I call that kind of a rip-off, even though this ain't a very good tool. You have this hook-like thing that's a pain to get out. See if I can even get it out. It's a real pain to get out. So you have this hook thing, which really has no use. See, you can untie boots with it. I really can't think of a good use for this, and it's on this long piece of metal. Yeah, it's just that tool's kind of crappy. Maybe they should have just either put something useful here, or they should have like left it blank, but not put such a heavy metal bar. Because that's some of this extra big chunks of metal that's in this makes it a lot heavier than the Super Tinker. I actually do recommend the Mechanic more than the Tinker because you don't need scissors because you already have a blade. You have 2 blades to be precise. Now, sure, if you're trying to cut perfect things in paper, whether you're going to be doing that on the go, or most of the time people have scissors or something in their house to cut paper with. Now, if you didn't, okay, I recommend the Super Tinker for you, but most men have EDCs, and this would actually be a lot better EDC because whenever you need, this tool has been used like 50 times because there's always a bolt or something we need to grab and untie, and sometimes it's even better than the Leatherman or something because you can see that you have a lot more length. You just barely have to put your thumb in there, and you have a good like almost 2 inches of extra room. You can go and grab something if maybe there's a crack or some tiny space you need to stick your pliers in, grab something. This would be very good for that. And overall, this is solid. And of course, I forgot to mention this, but the blades, they are solid, and they almost feel like some of the tools kind of feel like they're locked because of how awesome the back spring is. Let's watch. Barely pull, barely pull, barely boom. Massive back spring. So yeah, I actually like the Mechanic more because for one, that tool's useless. This plier has been used so many more times than these scissors, and these scissors have been known to break. We were on a camping trip once. We were using the victorinox scissors, which we could have just used the blade, but we were using the scissors for the heck of it. And after a few cuts, boom, the spring snapped because of how thin the scissors are made.
Pretty sure that was the Leatherman squirt, though.
No, that wasn't Leatherman squirt. That was a little victorinox that.
Both of them got broke on that.
Yeah. They need to start making the springs better on scissors, or they just need to actually make a little small loop that can fit in there, to where you can trim it. You put your finger in the loop and trim it kind of like you do normal scissors, because the springs on these scissors just they just don't work very well after actually using them. But I do like the pliers, and this is actually quite heavier just because you got the extra bits of metal and it's slightly thicker. Surprisingly, it's just barely thicker, but it is a lot heavier. So that's basically all I have to say for this review. And if you are looking to buy a victorinox, I recommend and you're looking for something thin as an EDC, probably the Mechanic. Maybe for more of house jobs.